had to get that scratch out. We have some stories. As always, we always got stories. We always have stories. Let's set up. All right. Take this out when I get finished. I'm talking about this drive, y'all. I got a little drive up here for storage. Runs all day. Disclaimer. Let's do our disclaimer. Then we'll get into the fun stuff, right? Disclaimer. The videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose to attend an institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution. Speaking on behalf of creator Henry is only speaking from his experience. Now that we got that out of the way. As I like to say. So, first thing on here, this was breaking news last night, actually. I'm just putting it on here for my sake. And then, no, it's what is this for me? And so, I said, yeah, this was breaking news last night. So the University of Virginia president had to leave. It was like at 10 o'clock p.m. And I believe I was taking a nap, guys, at that time. I know you like taking a nap at 10 o'clock. Yeah, I do that sometimes. That's what school would do to you. College would do that to you. How you taking naps at weird times. College would do that. I think I have it pulled up already. Let me see, guys. That is yesterday's. I thought it was still up here. Oh no, I have to open it. So, as I open this up to see why this president had to leave. So, we can see why the president left. All right, so it says University of Virginia, UVA president pressured to resign. Justice Department officials have reportedly demanded that James E. Ryan, which I will show a picture. Of course, we can't do that yet, but I will show a picture one day when I'm live streaming so y'all can see what I'm looking at. That's just gonna make it more better. Yes, James E. Ryan, president of University of Virginia. And University of Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, that is the Cavaliers. Tell me why it's not showing, guys. Let's see. No little research. University of Virginia. I'm trying to see if this is a public school or private school. This is a public school and their logo. Yep, University of Virginia, the orange and blue school. That is them. I had to find that. For some reason, their logo would not show. And so, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that's the right school. And that is a public 4-year, of course, to make that happen. And it says Trump Justice Department pressuring University of Virginia president to resign. We're trying to see why. They're trying to make him resign as part of a federal investigation and scrutinizing the institution's diversity efforts. Officials in the department, so I don't know if he's left yet, because they said pressured, so I don't think he left. Officials in the Department Civil Rights Office have suggested that Ryan must depart because he did not completely eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts after the university board voted. After the university board voted to dissolve the diversity office in March. It's now June. And so the Justice Department in late April sent a letter to Ryan and the University of Virginia board chair. The Chronicle reported, they got a citation in there, saying it had received complaints about the university and asking for evidence that UVA had dismantled all DEI programs, going further than what the board had called for. A conservative alumni group, the Jefferson Council, helped fan the flames and called for Ryan's departure. As I say, guys, the presidents of colleges / universities, if your donors contribute a lot of money, they can really get rid of you. It's like you work for, as a president / high ranking exec, you really work for the board. You don't really, it's like a business, right? If you don't do what the board agrees with, they'll find a reason to get rid of you. And so America's First Legal, a right-wing advocacy group, called on the Justice Department to investigate University of Virginia in May. And within a week, the Trump administration confirmed to that group that it had opened a review of the University of Virginia compliance with Title VI. It looked like Title VI. Title VI? They like Title VI. It got 5 and 1 should be Title VI. Title VI, the civil rights law that bars racial discrimination in education. So we had a situation like this when I was working at Tech. We didn't have a situation actually, but we came across situations like that could happen to us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe if you're in the chat. You have to be mindful that parents who did believe in, they made their vote, right, blah, 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 and what they believe in, and that if you think you didn't have to follow the rules, like, I'm not getting rid of DEI, we're not changing the names, parents / students, they will report it to the federal agency. And it's a big deal because if it goes to, okay, they're doing something in the hallway, I guess, if y'all do hear that by chance. Life of living in the apartment, right? And so them thinking they don't have to follow the rules, follow what the Trump administration is saying, Department of Education, they won't receive federal funding at the end of the day. And then I'm pretty sure if the president, they say he's been pressured to leave. So I don't know if he has to leave, but we'll find out more, right? And it says, admit that, so this is the number 2 official in the Civil Rights Office, Gregory Brown, Deputy Assistant Attorney General and the University of Virginia alum, has on several occasions over the past month told university representatives that Ryan should be removed. They've been wanting to get him removed a lot. Is this UC? So I think they're going into another school right now. Yeah. They're going into another school now. And then they got letters in here. Dear colleague, this letter directs about the DEI efforts. If you are still doing DEI efforts, they got letters in here. And so it goes deeper and deeper about DEI, civil rights. Once again, guys, like I said, that's not our lane on this channel per se, because you have people who do critical race theory, DEI, they go to school for it, or they did. I wonder how that situation looks. If you did go to school for DEI, critical race theory, how that's looking. But people do specialize in this area, of course. I feel like they do. That's why I speak on it, but it's not really my most popular topic to speak about. I feel like it's more important things in higher education that students need. And personally, I do mention that because I came out of high school in DEI, not DEI. I came out of high school in 2017 when I think that's when DEI started, if I'm not mistaken. Let me educate myself, guys. Because personally, I didn't learn about DEI until graduate school, to be honest with you guys. Because it wasn't being, at least it wasn't being pushed at my high school. Because once again, I went to a historical black high school. And then when I was in college, it definitely wasn't being pushed at my 2-year or 4-year. And then my 4-year, y'all know my 4-year undergraduate, they were supposedly doing it, and then it stopped. That's all I can say on that. The DEI falls under the civil rights. It's a concept of DEI has roots in the civil rights movement. And saying it's rooted under the civil rights. That's what it's telling me. So if that's rooted under civil rights, that means DEI been around. DEI has been around for a long time. It's not really my main area. I did have to take classes on it, guys, and talk about it. But like I said, my standards always been high for myself. But it's very important. It goes beyond just the surface level, of course. That's why I don't really talk much on it, because I know I'm not that savvy in that area. And like I said, people do that for a living and research that and write about it. So I didn't want to mention that because the University of Virginia president is being pressured. I do not know if he has left yet. And so it's been a lot of presidents we know like leaving. I remember I wasn't live streaming at this time, of course. It was probably like a year or two ago. And I think it was a year or two ago when the Harvard, Yale president, when all the college presidents were getting fired about the start of the protesting of the wars and stuff. That was a time when people really started realizing like the free speech stuff and what would a college president do in these situations, and just a big ordeal about college presidents, right? And so very controversial. Like, how would you deal with that? Good morning, G. G said DEI became a talking point around the time we got out of high school. Right, yeah, it became a talking point. And so we kind of like, I just feel like being young, still young, but younger at that time, they just really didn't bring it up because older people knew about it, but they was like, you wouldn't understand type of deal. But it really didn't come to my eyes. Again, based on the schools I went to that was not pushing DEI, it didn't make it no better, really. So it's just really like, I feel like everybody needs the extra push. And so, not me personally, because like I said, I didn't really get the benefits of it. As I told my classmates, I still can't even wear a do-rag, like in public. People think a do-rag is, I remember one time I'd be talking to people at other demographics, right? Let me see what G said. It didn't really become a big deal until close to the end of the Trump first term. Yeah, that was around 2020. Uh-huh. And I'll be talking to I remember talking to people. They asked about, what is it called? I was talking about do-rag. And then they asked me why we wear do-rags. Other demographics, they asked why we wear do-rags. People really don't know why we wear do-rags, and as African Americans. And I'm like, it's really just a curious question, right? And so I was telling my classmates, like, I still can't wear a do-rag. It's still like, it's not really technically, it's for laying our hair down, but like, you have to see a before and after, right? Or go to a YouTube channel and watch people or guys. I know there's plenty of people who have waves, and like, if you see what their hair would look like if they didn't wear a do-rag or something to cover up their hair, it's like a cap. But if they don't wear it, our hair looks crazy. And so the fact that we still can't wear a do-rag, and I get we can't wear them everywhere. You gotta be professional, but it's still awkward. That's why I like LeBron, because LeBron wears his do-rag everywhere. When he's like not playing or doing interviews, he wears his do-rag. In interviews, when he at the basketball game, he wears it when he's sometimes when he's speaking. Depending what the type of environment he's in, he wears his do-rag. And I think that's good because LeBron is a billionaire and also has an open school. Um, One of the few people, and he's still playing in the league. But I pay more attention to his off court things. So I just feel like that's real inclusiveness to me, for example. Like I love that more. And so I always tell people Google is free and you learn when you at a PWI, you you are not the dictionary for black culture. That is true. I don't mind helping and talking to people, but to help people grow, I tell them to look on the internet and only ask that question to your close friends. That is true, G. That is true. Ask people who are close to you because, you might get a reaction that is very much not good. Because everybody's not diplomatic. Some people don't know how to just okay, that was a bad question, and just move past it. People don't know how to navigate like that. So, yeah. So the next one, that was not a very long one. Trust me, the next two are going to be long, and we got some other like side posts, some other posts that came out too after the live screen, which leads us to Linda again. So Linda, where is it? They posted it on X and LinkedIn, which is very good. I wasn't surprised. I knew it was gonna get posted on LinkedIn because that school. So the school is Wake Technical Community College. I'm going to look them up, guys, because they are a very big community college. Their community college looks like a university. Like they are a very big community college. Like I've been following them since I got on LinkedIn because when I first started on LinkedIn, I've been when I first started on LinkedIn, I was just looking up a whole bunch of community colleges, a whole bunch of universities, just following them, building up for this time now. So when colleges post stuff, I can be like, oh, this college posts this, and trying to be in every college around the world and around the states. And so I like the pictures on this one. They posted two times, but I like this one. It was posted by their president too, Scott Rawls. It's like Walls, but Rawls. He seems like a pretty good president, but this school is very good, man. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna look them up to see what their prices look like. And G said, what G said, there is more grace when asking your friends, and some people are questioned daily for existing. People are questioned daily for existing, which is what causes that. Huh. You seem to be quite diligent. What do you mean by quite diligent, G? I'm gonna follow up and ask you a question if I don't know. I'm a curious person. Oops. What do you mean by quite diligent, G? And then we're gonna get into Wake Tech Community College. We actually get to talk about community college, y'all. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised when she visited them because, like I said, they've been very advocate of community colleges. But when they went and visit Wake Tech Community College, they were showing like their industrial side. You know, they were showing more of like. So I'm assuming she went and visited Wake Tech and University of North Carolina because when she went to visit the University of North Carolina, she made her way to Wake Tech because remember we saw a post about University of North Carolina as well. It was on X. Of course I can show you guys, but I wish I could have showed you because I like pictures when I'm learning stuff. Fun fact about me. When I was studying for my test in the military, the ASVAB, because I used to so sidebar conversation again. When I was taking the ASVAB, I couldn't pass the ASVAB. I used to make a like low scores. I'm pretty sure we all took it before or know about it. I used to make like an 8, which is not high. I think it's on a 100-point scale. I used to make like an 8, a 5, a 10 on the ASVAB. I just really didn't have those basics. Remembering like I was in special education, so I missed some things or forgot some things I did learn. And so the test is just consisted of basic like education stuff that you forget. And then I had this study, of course, and got a tutor. I found a tutor through this Air Force recruiter. And when I was talking to different branches, he gave me this guy, and then I studied. I studied for like 6 months, 4 to 6 months to make sure I was good. And then I ended up passing with a very high score. Let's see what G said. G said, because I asked G, y'all, I said, G, what you mean by quite diligent? And G said, having or showing care and consciousness in one's work or duties. Exactly. And then he said, they offered it in high school. I just said, no. What they offered? Oh, okay, I know you're talking about. You were in special education in high school? Yes, I was in special education in high school, G. I was, I heard different terms for it, but yeah, I was special education. I had an IEP. I was in it from, I don't know if it was because my parents or my mom felt that I should stay in it, but I was definitely in it from elementary to high school. And so I guess you were just being cautious because we talk about it now. It was more extra help. It's not like it was, like I tell people now, like people have a better understanding of it now. But at the time when I was going through it, it wasn't really, I guess I could say it wasn't heavily researched and talked about, at least to kids, because we thinking we wasn't smart enough and all that good jazz to go to college and everything. And so, because I talk to people about it now, they say, "Oh, just because you're in special education does not mean you couldn't go to college. You just need extra help." And like, of course, it's like levels to everything. You have people who are really in special education, but it wasn't that type of special education. It was really more of like I was behind on reading and I couldn't really comprehend that good. And then that was my weakness. And then, like I tell people, reading isn't everything. If you can't read or comprehend as well, you're not really gonna be able to do any other subject. It makes everything else hard. It's like a trickle effect. And so, and G said, I know what you're talking about. It was just never framed as special education. We called it extra help. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. And you was in Georgia, right, G? You grew up in Georgia, if you don't mind me asking? 'Cause I know you say you're a Southern boy. So either Georgia or somewhere, probably, yeah. I feel like you're Georgia. I feel like you're Georgia. I feel like you're Georgia. And so Wake Tech. Linda visited Wake Tech. I'm going to talk about the post. And then I went to their website so we can look at their prices as well. As I slide all everything down, things move when I work and do stuff on this computer. G said no. She said, well, we had a teacher who did it, and we just said you. Okay. And then G said, no, but I have a lot of family there. Okay. So where is the post? Here is the post I saved. So, well, I'm not in my bookmarks, but I'll make my way there. Whew, where to start? So the president, Scott Riles, president at Wake Technical Community College, he said, yesterday we welcomed U.S. Secretary Linda Mcmahon for a full afternoon touring 2 of our campuses. Along the way, I mentioned to the secretary that I am frequently asked by companies about what they can do to support Wake Tech. And so pretty much she's touring Wake Tech labs. They have a laboratory here. This is a community college now. They have a laboratory, like a laboratory. Like a nice laboratory though. It's like really nice. It's by the company name it's a co-laboratory with Amgen. I heard that Amgen. I never heard that. Probably on the stock market too. I bet it's on the stock market. Amgen. That's the name of the company. It's a collab. I don't know if Amgen donated money to build that lab for Wake Tech, but it's definitely a Wake Tech campus. And so, and then G said one more thing, guys, before we keep going. Actually, all except one of my grandmother's brothers lived there. So I used to come every summer growing up and live there for a while in 2020. Thank you, G. Thank you for sharing that. Never know how close people are, you know? Isn't that funny how life works? And so Amgen, then we got Brady Services, we got CSL, I forgot what CSL is. And then we got Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly is a big stock. Disclaimer, not a financial advisor. Eli Lilly goes crazy on the stock market. Yeah, guys, they're on the stock market. We have this one. I really don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm going to click it because they have a LinkedIn. I never realized how many companies had a LinkedIn until, I just really just sat back and like, a lot of companies have a LinkedIn. And this company based in North Carolina as well. I'm starting to realize a lot of pharmaceuticals and stuff are in North Carolina. I'm starting to realize that. Pharmaceuticals, medical. Don't get me medical industry people. I'm just going off industries that I know of. Okay, G knows about Amgen. LOL, literally every company has one, pretty much. Yeah. And then what else? As I go back. And this is a community college, guys. This is why I be trying to tell people. This is a community college that's working with these big names. You see what I'm saying? Like some community colleges are bigger than others. Like my 2-year college they say it's called Columbus Technical College, but it wasn't a big 2-year like this one. And I'm pretty sure their prices are good, which we're going to get into. I'm just naming like their sponsors. They got Gregory Pool Equipment Company, John Deere. We all know John Deere. They're everywhere. What's this one? I never heard this one. I don't know if this is a big one or a small one. A big company, a small company. But they are in Berlin, and gosh, we just said this. We just said that word. We just said it. Alice Marie actually posted that word and we said it, but I don't want to get a sidetrack and look it up. That's the name of the company right there. They're based in Germany, I believe. And Colombia's former president was quite proactive. What you mean by the Colombia's former president was quite active? Who's the Colombia's former president? This person right here at Wake Tech? He's the former president, G? And then they also thanked East Carolina University and Chancellor Philip Rogers for extending our ladder by providing on-site bachelor's completion. Oh, I did not see that. I didn't see that part. So I'm gonna not quote that. Well, copy and paste it, quote it, because I'm copying it from their post. This is what I be talking about right here, guys. They should have put that first, but I did. You skipped the one above. I said there. What? Guys. I will copy the rest of this. You talking about Scott Rawls, G? He used to be Colombia's president. And I need to get that rest of that. The last part is very important. So Wake Tech has a no LOL. So who we talking about? Who are we talking about? I'm looking back. Amgen. No, you're okay. It was one of these companies, I'm assuming. They work at one of these companies. We'll come back to it. We're gonna come back to it, G. We're gonna come back to it. We're gonna note it down. I'm gonna write it down and say, who is G talking about? We're gonna come back to it. And so, at the bottom of the Wake Tech post by the college president at Wake Technical Community College, he said, well, he didn't say, of course, they got a social media team, but it's posted under him. But it says, special thanks to East Carolina University and Chancellor Philip Rogers for extending our ladder by providing on-site bachelor's completion at Wake Tech for students in these or other applied programs through ECU BSIT program. So they have an agreement with East Carolina University. Like I said, when students go from Wake Technical Community College, they're bridging to one of these schools, for example, like East Carolina University, because, like I said, Wake Tech is pretty prestige. Like I said, they have a very big school, very big campus with partnerships of very big companies, unlike any other campus I have seen. So that means when their students, because they're doing this type of work, I'm pretty sure their students are getting jobs at like Eli Lilly, and those jobs, students get those type of jobs at Georgia Tech, for example. Like, these are big companies, and so the fact that they can do that at a community college is huge. And now I want to look at Wake Tech prices, because we talk about, like, especially in the chat, from people who know a little more. We know that when a college has more connections, it makes them raise their cost a little bit. And we just want to check and see what their prices are looking like at Wake Tech. Usually at a community college, their prices are easy to find. Very easy. But I still type it in on the search bar and learn about them. So, tuition and fees. I take the long way. Their prices must be high, because I did not find it that fast. Wake Tech Community College tuition. I wouldn't be surprised if they were pretty expensive. I would not be surprised, but I feel like they should be affordable. Let's see. And usually I don't follow a school on my LinkedIn if they are expensive, usually. Unless I just that thumb get the following sometimes, because it's a school. Especially if a school posts something I don't like, I definitely follow them so I can see if they're getting back on track. As I wait for it to upload or populate. Come on. Okay. Here we go. Yes, they are very affordable. Guys, they charge $76 per credit hour. Man, and the school is huge. I never looked up their prices, I'll be honest with you. I did not remember if their prices were affordable. But let me go back to their website, because that's beautiful. So their programs that they're doing, we should look at their programs too. $76, guys. So that means when you take a 12 credit hour schedule, you're only going to pay $912 in tuition. That's cheaper than what I was paying. And then after your fees, you're looking at $1430 for one semester. Now think about all those companies you get to work with. People pay a lot of money at bigger schools for that. Heads up. Just to get a heads up or give a heads up. And so Imagine getting with these companies. Now, granted, they are in one area. They are in the state of North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. But those are very good prices. Like I said, that's cheaper than what I paid at my 2 year. And that was years ago. Like I said, 2 year prices have not moved as much. 2 year prices have not moved as much. And a lot of people don't keep that in mind. That's why I say people have to be strategic when they're going to college, because university prices are rising. And I really don't know why. 2 years seem to have it together. They're not moving in prices as much. They might move 1 to 2%, but other places are moving like 3 to 5%, and you're like, that's not much of a difference. But they're doing it like every year. That's not good. The percentages add up, and so I do want to look at the programs before we keep going, because yeah, right here, career fields. They keep it in so much simple terms too. So they have, wow. So I knew I was talking about pharmaceutical, but it's really pharmaceutical. So we know at 2 years, usually community colleges, technical college, they have advanced manufacturing. That's nothing new, right? Or we're talking about it, but they have advanced manufacturing. This college has biotech. They have biotech. I'm happy about that, because I know for sure most people go to universities for biotech. Like, they're like, oh, I had to go because they don't have my degree at this 2 year. They have biotech, and they have biotech certifications. And then they got the degree. That's huge. So a lot of people right here, and it specifies right here, biotechnical or biotechnology careers are focused on applying biological sciences, biochemistry, and genetics to develop and produce new products for the agriculture, pharmaceutical, as I said, and industrial sectors. So very, for my people out there who's interested in biotechnology, you definitely need to review your 2 year colleges a little more. They got business, of course, communications, social sciences, art and humanities. That's more in my area, but yeah, that's more in my area. And then they have construction and maintenance. They have education. As I tell people, if you're going to be a teacher, you should definitely go to a 2 year, because we all know teachers or people in education are not respected. So why would I go break the bank paying 6 figures? And most teachers don't touch six figures until they're like, older. Older. They make money, but they don't touch 6 figures like as a base salary until they're older. So keep that in mind. They have engineering. I always talked about you can get your engineering degree at a 2 year and then bridge to a 4 year. Engineering is engineering. You can do healthcare. They got healthcare here, hospitality, like culinary and stuff, informational and digital technology, public safety, science and math, which is STEM, transportation. So they have very good majors at this school, guys. They have high demand in career fields too, majors. They have a lot more than my 2 year. My 2 year had a few of these, but not these, not biotech. My 2 year did not have biotech, and my 2 year had engineering. We had STEM. We had about the same as these, but we just definitely did not have biotech. I think that's a eye opener. Shout out to Wake Tech, man. Shout out to Linda for going to Wake Tech and putting that on the map. Most people probably never heard of Wake Tech until now. Like I said, it's a very popular school. Remember, you can go there and get your associate's degree in Bristol 4 year. You don't have to do manufacturing just because it's at a 2 year. They're pushing manufacturing. Don't get me wrong, but you can still go to a 2 year and then bridge to a 4 year. And Wake Tech is one of those schools that I like because I know they have deals. They have more deals than we think. And so that's what their whole mission is at community college. It's like, hey, we got deals for you. Bridge to this 4 year. We want you to go to the bigger schools. Like, some schools out here I feel like don't want you to do that personally. But I'm gonna keep it pretty friendly today, unless I just see something, somebody calls me out. But A lot of people are a little fearful right now. They don't really want to call me out. Just a friendly debate, right? And so I had caught something with the University of Tennessee. I thought this was interesting as well. On the sidebar, before we go to the last thing, because we've been talking. Oh wow, we already almost at an hour. It's crazy. Um, Something about the University of Tennessee had got my attention. I didn't talk about it on the last yesterday. Forgot to. We be having sometimes we have too much information. Sometimes we don't have enough, and we've been getting a lot of it. And I try to keep us. I'm not gonna make y'all stay for 3 hours. That would be crazy. So the University of Tennessee, their College of Social Work. Did I click on the post? This is not the post. This is not the post. The post was. Why did I do this? Okay, this what got my attention. So the University of Tennessee, their College of Social Work, for all my people in Tennessee, they said there is still time to apply for fall 2025 admission. They're begging. When they say it's still time to apply, they're begging. From experience, when they keep, just like business, when they resend out, hey, we still have this open slots, it means people either not applying or they need a few more people. 1 to 2. And they said we have limited seats available for the extended study online program. It's like MSSW. They said completed applications must be submitted by June 30th, 2025. That's in 3 days. And then they said right here, don't miss the opportunity to join a top 25 graduate school in social work. My thing is, what ranking are y'all in that top 25? Are y'all buried to like 25 or y'all 24? I don't like that when schools do that. When they say, oh, we're top 25, we're top 5, we're top 1. And so where it gets more interesting, it says no GRE required. That is big. Schools need people. Schools need money. They're saying, look, this test really ain't, a test is good to have, but a test really never tells you, like, I've seen people have high test scores but couldn't finish classes. And so we all know, like, a test score is not going to say you're going to do well in our program. Let's be upfront and clear about that. He said, yeah, I don't like when schools do that neither. Yeah. Hold on, what you don't like when they do, G? You don't like when they do the top 25, or you don't like when they try to make you take like GRE and stuff like that? Which one? Because remember, guys, I love talking to the chat. I love talking to y'all because you make this screen just better, really. And I would be so devastated if y'all wasn't in the chat talking to me. It'd be like really lonely, Let's see what G said. I feel like it should kick in as I scroll down. When they're talking about top 25, yeah. Okay, yeah, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. And so I wanted to talk about that with University of Tennessee and their College of Social Work. It's in Tennessee, man. And then the next one, I just got this post today. It's gonna cut the line. I just seen this post. This is by Sherry Welch. She's a senior reporter at Crane's Detroit Business. And she mentioned a school called Wayne State University. Has anybody ever heard of that school, Wayne State University? Very interesting, right? Wayne State University. I'm gonna look it up before I talk about it or mention what happened with Wayne State. So Wayne State University is a public university in Detroit, Michigan, of course. And it's, what else? Pretty basic school. Oh, they got my high school colors, green and gold. I kind of like them because they green and gold. But let me tell you what happened with them. They said Wayne State University colleges and departments will need to come up with $10 million in cuts to balance the fiscal 2026 budget adopted by the university's board late Thursday. The Detroit University also approved a $4.5 tuition increase. More schools are increasing, guys. That's in Detroit. And that's another university, right? So we're going in the right direction when we talk about universities are going to get more expensive. Because remember, my thesis is my thesis. I like to say it verbatim. Too many notes. I like to say my thesis: college is becoming unaffordable, guys. Remember, college is becoming unaffordable, which means they're going to raise tuition prices like they're doing, at least at universities. And then I said which will raise the value of college at the same time. Because remember, it's other factors that's going to come in there, right? Like, we got to remember AI is coming into play. People can say, I don't need to go to college if the prices are going to get high. Yeah, but in the long term game, when you need this is your thesis for your master's degree or just a paper. This is my thesis for my business, actually, G. And so I didn't want to go and get a PhD personally. That's like I think we all know if we go to college, PhD is like another level. That's like going to the pros, I feel like. And so I didn't really want to spend my time putting it on a paper. And I know where we're going in life. Like, educators are going to read it and respect it. And I just know kids and parents, students are not going to read that personally. I know they're never going to read that. So I'd rather put it on video and track it and follow it over time to see how everything plays out, because we could be wrong. But at least we're talking about it and you're getting information and learning on the live screen versus reading through my whole dissertation to find out I could have been wrong, you know? And so, yeah. And so I feel like I said, college is becoming unaffordable, which will raise the value of college. Remember, AI is coming into play. We got robotics coming in. And I have seen robotics on campuses, guys. Like, where I used to work at, Georgia Tech. They have robotics delivering food. Literally, like, people are moving out the way for robotics. Companies and businesses are using robotics to deliver food. I know you've seen it in some restaurants. So somebody's gonna have to maintain these, right? Somebody's gonna have to be working, maintaining the robots, controlling the robots, and many more jobs that might come up that's needed to maintain AI, robotics, and many more that are coming. And so nuclear energy is coming, right? Because they're saying that you need nuclear energy to keep AI running. So that could come up for more jobs, right, in the nuclear energy sector. So you have to remember, like, they're raising the prices now. People are saying they're not going to go, but then again, it's going to raise the value that, hey, I got to go to college, but it's so expensive. What can I do? It comes back to us. Why you should go start at a 2-year and bridge to a 4-year. Because remember, 2-year prices are still good. And I think they're still going to be good down the line. And so, yeah, yeah. It makes sense, right? I always try to make sense and follow. And so G said, okay, nice. So you don't think you'll ever get a PhD? No, I don't think so. My girlfriend will, but not me. I don't think I will. I might take the honorary doctoral route. I might do what most celebrities do. Just get an honorary doctorate and then just call myself Dr. Felton. That's what I might do, G. I might just have to do that, G. Because, they out here handing out doctoral degrees as if people deserve them. But don't get me started on that, G. I might make some people mad out here. And so, and G also said, yeah, that's true for now anyway. Yeah, for now, right? And so people are quick to say they don't need an education. Then next thing you know, they're lining up in the admissions office, which is okay. It's okay. Everything's in trends. I just say don't listen to Instagram. Don't listen to TikTok about college. They don't know what they're talking about. I say go to LinkedIn in some cases. Because LinkedIn, they talk a little crazy on LinkedIn too, and I have to call them out. They don't respond to me though. I'll be looking for those debates. They don't give me replies. Like you said, it's a celebrity thing. It's a celebrity thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's a celebrity. Like it's all marketing too. Like for now, college is right. The Instagrammers are too far ahead. Too far ahead. And yeah, celebrities, it's all marketing. And that's why I feel like that's why we talked about it on one, that's like one of our first live screens, I believe. That's it's all marketing. Like honorary doctorate degrees with celebrities. Now I get it, they do grant them the honorary doctorate degree because they are so much of a professional in their industry, but still, it's just so disrespectful to somebody who, like spent time actually conducting the research behind it and the whole point of the education behind the interviewing people and putting the methodologies together, the abstract. And the celebrities are not doing that. They did the work and made a lot of money, but they didn't really put a study together of, you know, ticket sales, this and that, da 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 for other potential celebrities or kids who want to follow in their footsteps. They just do some wise words or supposedly wise words at graduation. Then they take away the attention of the people who graduated, who actually spent time at the college, barely paying the money. They take away your shine, and then everybody forgets that you graduated. They're like, "Oh, such and such is here." Like, I wish somebody would take my shine at graduation. I would walk out of the graduation. I promise you. I am the one. I am that one who will walk out. If a celebrity came to my graduation, luckily I ain't going to no big enough school, but I will walk out during the graduation. So G also said, but maybe that's why they winning, minus the scamming. I don't think it's disrespectful, just kind of unnecessary. It is. That conversation also then leads to the divide between academia and the real world. Hold on, G. Where you going with that? I know where you're going, but where you going? That also leads to the divide between academia and the real world. Oh man, I want more on that. I like that. I like that. Academia and the real world. That does lead into that conversation. And I don't want to get sidetracked. I don't. But my mom talks about that all the time. Like having all the book sense but no common sense. And then G said, I would walk out if Cardi B was speaking at graduation. I would walk out too. I would walk out too, G. Yeah, we thinking the same, G. I would walk out. I would walk out immediately. So fast. I just got to. It's like, and I go to a school, no offense to Georgia State, and I go to a school that would do something like that. I go to a school that would do something like that. They would do something like that just so they can get more students to come to the school. Like kids really go to school based off of that. Like, oh, they had such and such speaking at the school, so I'm gonna go there. Like, what? Did you not look at the prices? There's a line. There's always a line. There's a very much a line. And sometimes as you can see, schools don't care about that line. A lot of times they don't care. Um, they'll put that's one of the things I do talk about too, G. I never said it on my live screen, but I remember I was talking with my girl, and then they had brought somebody, who was it? Man, they brought a couple of entertainers to the school. I think it was like Glorilla, Sissy Red. They brought them to Georgia State, and I was like, "This is what I'm paying money for." Real talk. I was like, "This is what I'm paying money for." Like for that, it's part of campus fun, I guess, but I'm paying money for that, and so I'm like, okay, and so they're okay. I'm trying to. I'm like, okay. I was like, maybe I'm thinking too hard on it. Maybe I'm being too hardcore, right? Students need to have fun, right, on campus, right? I guess. I was like, if it's okay, if we okay with where we at as a community, then I really don't say much, you know. And then G said, that's it, it's marketing. They got to make money, which is one of the arguments for making college free. The kind of stuff draws more students in. Yeah, yeah. Then you gotta remember that marketing things, right? And, it's not my college, right? Not my community, not my school. So that's when I stay in my lane and I just say, well, you build a culture of a campus you want to build. So that's what you want to build. So if you want to build it like that, be my guest. It is more important for some students, social life, so they can go back and talk about it. That's why I say I'm a little hardcore with my standards a little bit because I didn't care about that stuff. I was too busy like trying to figure out how to. While being in college, I didn't really care about that stuff. I was that type of student. I was trying to figure out. Shoot, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I should have looked at more. I should have looked at more things about. I don't know. I was just very economic chaser, like just really trying to change the way of. I was trying to change higher education while I was in college. I was really speaking on this in college. I was stepping on toes, didn't even know I was stepping on toes. And you don't realize how conservative some people are. Like, I'm not talking about conservative as in like um politics, like left and right. I'm not talking about that conservative. I'm talking about like people who work at a university and you got people that work at a 2-year college. Like there's a whole like conservative mindset. If you go like if I challenge anybody, like if I should do a video on that. If I go ask higher ed professionals at universities, I feel like AG, have you ever saw on The Big Short? Have you ever saw The Big Short? I want you to answer that question too when it comes in. Okay, G, the guy. I think his name was Mike Barm. The guy he was like, his wife was like, she was like, maybe it's time for you to leave Wall Street. And then he was like, no, I love my job. She was like, you hate your job. And he was like, I love my job. And that's like me when I'm in higher education because I'm like, these people are going around, these students are going around, these parents and students are going around. Yeah, not Michael Burry, but the other one. The one it was by he's in The Office, that actor. He does the show The Office. And I felt like him because parents and students are just going to universities. Prices are still rising. It's like they don't even care. And then it's like, well, they have to go here because they don't have no dorm. Him, yeah, Mike, yeah, that one, Mark. And then they was like, parents always say they always have excuses, or the professionals at universities always have excuses like they have to come here, da da da, because they're major, blah blah blah, da da da. I'm like, you're ripping students off. Literally, you have no justification for why you're raising the university prices. And then I got to get paid at the end of the day. I have a family to raise. I get it, but don't be scared to just like now you're not gonna have a job. You see, now you're not gonna have a job, and like Mark said, I just hate that in this case it's not well still the citizens, still the people. I just hate that parents and students have to be the victims of it. Cause like you said, G, Cardi, Glorilla, and them, they're gonna get their money. They're gonna be good. The students, though, on the other hand, prices got to keep raising. We'll bring you more Glorillas and more Cardi B's, and we're gonna keep raising your prices because we don't want to cut our salaries as a president or execs or whoever makes a lot of money at a college that can cut their salary significantly to put more money back into the school. A lot of them, if they put it together, um, instead of them doing that, they rather just raise the tuition prices on you. And I think that's ignorant as a student going to school. I think that's ignorant on the behalf of a parent. That's why we call it speaking on behalf, by the way, because I'm speaking on your behalf. I'm saying things that most professionals don't want to say. I'm saying things parents and students don't want to say. And so it's like, it's the truth. right? It's like how let's change it, right? Let's go forward, not backwards. And so I see G said something else while I'm ranting. And so G said, "You are hardcore." I see some other stuff you said. You are hardcore, but you the exception at your school, at least. I don't think my school will go for that, but they wouldn't mind meeting these culture icons. Yeah, Mark Baum. We made student loans so regular available that that's where we messed up exactly. And then G said, that's a nice pull together for the name, ain't it? Right? Yeah, that's how. Cause I remember my brother cousin. I always say brother cousin, cause if anybody hear me say, sometimes I slip up and say cousin, but my brother, I was talking to him, and he asked me why did I call it that, and I was like, I don't know. I knew why, cause I was speaking on behalf of people, for the students, and on behalf of parents, because they don't have like this is like a whole nother language, right? I learned these terminologies by working in the career field and then by going to college also and kept furthering the terminology. And so, wait, he your brother and your cousin? So, well, I'll probably be the first to say this. So, my family, my niece, my oldest niece, she was the first to say it. She had a brother cousin. And so a brother cousin is like, so a brother cousin is, they're your cousin, but it's like y'all knew each other so long and lived together that they're like your brother. So you just say, we just call it brother cousin. It's like a family thing. My niece, she started that first when she was younger. And so we took it from her, and then I'll be saying like brother cousin or sister cousin. I'll be saying that. And so, but I do mostly brother cousin. Yeah. So if you want to use that G and they say, where do you get that from? Be like, you got it from here. And then hopefully it doesn't become a trend because I did not trademark that at all. So don't get me. And so we're gonna get to the last one real quick, the law. Nebraska Wesleyan University. I don't know if y'all heard of that school. We more back on this Nebraska again. Oh, Lord, Nebraska. At least they came up with a proper name. Nebraska Wesleyan. You see, it's a difference. It's a difference there. So Nebraska Wesleyan University is actually in the same place where the University of Nebraska. It's in this school is in Lincoln as well. And so why am I talking about Nebraska Wesleyan University? Because they just did something that was pretty good. I don't know if it would save a lot of money for students, but it definitely will save some money. So Nebraska Wesleyan students now have a faster path to a degree. They said yesterday Nebraska Wesleyan University and the University of Nebraska College of Law, they formalized a new 3+3 dual degree partnership. And y'all know on the live streams I mentioned partnerships or articulation agreements. So pretty much I'm gonna give you the short version before I read it. So when you get into your junior year of undergraduate at Nebraska Wesleyan, you can start your actual law degree, your JD, you can start that your senior year of undergraduate. And I haven't looked into the details of it, but I will hope when you're starting like your senior year of law and you're still at your other school, you should be getting the same prices. Like you should be getting that same undergraduate price, not even the JD law price, which saves you a year. It saves you a year in tuition costs. That's a big difference in that 1 year. And so it says they can graduate in 6 years instead of 7 years. And so I like that 3+3 dual degree partnership, because where I come in at and I seen that deal and the student would say, oh yeah, I know about that deal, I'm trying to do that. I'll say, look, you should definitely start at a 2 year, save your money some more, then bridge to your 4 year, like Nebraska Wesleyan University. Because when you get there and you're already like, hopefully you like, oh yeah, I'm trying to do the law program. You talk to academic advisors and They got you right. Like, yeah, you lining up pretty well. Your credits match, and you can go ahead and start your not pre law, your JD, and still be working on the other bachelor's degree. And I think that's like I would call it a two. I would call that a two. That would be like a two. How would that word? How would that be if I had to frame that? One, a 2-1-3, or a two. Yeah, 2-1-3. That'd be a 2-1-3 because they're counting the law degree as 3 years. So I would call it the 2-1-3 if I was doing it, because students could start at 2 years saving more money, and I get universities got to make their money too. That's just how it falls sometimes. And so I would definitely tell students start at 2 year, and then when you start that junior year, because we already know in higher education they already don't have no policies on stuff. As it is, they do what they want. So you should do what you want as a student. I'll be at a 2 year, and then I'll go there for my junior year to that school that got that pathway for the law, and then that'll save me more money, a lot more money. So you give yourself, I just gave you a bigger discount than their agreement. But I love that agreement because law school is very expensive. I have a friend now in law school right now. Law school is very expensive. And I feel like it's a lot of, see, that's why I get upset, because it's a lot more things they could do for people who are going to law school, because law school is so expensive. They should be able to give them per diem. Why do I say that? Because a lot of football players, athletes, they get per diems. I would make sure, yeah, get them grant money so they can have those per diems for the students. Not that many people in law school, guys. Like, law school doesn't be that. It's a few of them, but it don't be that many. And so that would be a dope experience. They should get per diem, because sometimes law students, from my friends' experience, they have to go do internships, apprenticeships, pretty much. But they don't get, and my cousin went through that. My cousin brother went through that. He had to go do internships and stuff, but they don't give you no place to stay. And they assume everybody has the money to just relocate to a different area, do an internship, and I guess live there for the internship. And so I don't really understand that. I thought that was so then it's you forced to go back to your city, but it's what if you're from a rural area that doesn't have what you're doing to do an internship? Then you're in a situation where you have to go to a whole nother area, but you have to take out more student loans or money. You would probably have to take out loans to just live somewhere, do an internship, and it's not paid most likely, which is crazy. It's not paid, and yeah, I'm telling you guys, it's really hard when you go and get that law degree or physical therapy, because I know people who went through it. It's a crazy game. It's crazy. And so, and then G giving us some more gems, everybody. Let's see where, G, you was putting more stuff in here. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. G said, wait, he your brother cousin? Okay, G said, oh, I get what you're saying now. I grew up knowing my first, second, and third cousins. He said, put it on the shirt. I think I said in another live stream that Brown has something like that for medicine. And a friend of mine is doing an MD, PhD, which is free MD for him at USF Berkeley. You did say that, or UC Berkeley. I got you. You did say that, because I mentioned UC Berkeley in the live stream. You did mention that. That part, I remember. And then G also said a lot of law students, as long as they don't go into public defense or nonprofit, make that money back and pay off those loans, for sure. And that's what I told him to do. I said he should go corporate. I for sure say he should go corporate. That's what a lot of people do. They go corporate. You should definitely go corporate. And then G said they expect you to take a loan and live in poverty and live in poverty because the expectation is that you make money eventually. Yeah, Yep. They do make that money down out the gate. They do. One thing I can say that about those career fields, law and physical therapy for sure, they do make money out the gate. They do make the money out the gate, for sure. And they have it's not many of them, so they're going to have a job. It's quite literally the standard, especially at places like Harvard, Yale, and Columbia. Hmm. 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 Let me find out, G. Let me find out. Let me find out. Don't be a spy the whole time, G. You say you work for yourself, but you really work for a university or an Ivy. You've been spying on me the whole time. Don't let me find out, G. Don't let me find out. So, JK. I believe, what else I had in here? And then that was that partnership. And I have one. Here it goes. And we didn't even dive that much into the brief. And we didn't even get all this. We didn't even get no information from the Chronicle of Higher Education besides the president resigning. All that was what we got from being on social media. And before we do that, go to that segment. G said, I talked to law students from these places automatically go to corporate. Oh, he said, talk to law students automatically go to corporate. You just have to. I'm not no spy, LOL. But wouldn't that feel cool though? Yeah, that would be pretty cool though. Have a spy. That'd be pretty cool in support. Cause I do know I'm gonna have. So I do understand that it's gonna be professionals on here, G. I do understand it's gonna be professionals. Hold on. Eyelash. I have long eyelashes, and sometimes they make my life hard. Word through the grapevine, G. A lot of professionals use burner accounts in higher education. They use burner accounts, so like their YouTubes, social media, because some people have so much of a high, they have a high profile in higher education, like a university president, for example, or a high ranking exec, because we all know this is a political career field. And sometimes if it's too political, they can lose their jobs. So some of them do be on burner accounts for sure. And I got that through the grapevine. So I did want to talk about this too. A new accreditor aims to enter the fray. And I seen that I don't know if I saved it on my LinkedIn bookmarks or if I saved it on X. And they really are pushing this new accreditor situation. It's very interesting. I don't know many details on it. I'm trying. It's like really picking up pieces of stones, trying to figure out. They said, what do we know about the Commission of Public Higher Education? And it says 6 public university systems pledging to create an accredited agency. 6 public university systems are pledging to create an accredited agency. Question mark. And it says, what the main part is. They're saying it's a partnership of certain institutions. So if you're in the South, like me and G, and that's all I know of right now. The state university system of Florida is joined in the consortium. I believe that's how you say that. Consortium. Help me out, guys. Thank you, Google. Consortium. Got you.
Consortium.
It's used in law a lot. An association typically of several business companies.
Consortium.
I feel so exquisite for saying that. Consortium. by the Texas A&M University System, the University System of Georgia, that's where I'm at, the University of North Carolina System. Look, my school just sent me my bill to pay for classes. Ain't that something? Ain't even July yet. I tell you, man, they don't love you. They don't love you. The University of North Carolina System, the University of South Carolina, and the University of Tennessee System. So these schools right here are trying to put a partnership together or an agency together. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be very interesting. And G said, "You better pay that bill." Well, they might get that bill paid. Let me stop playing. They'll send the bill so fast, man. They send it so fast, but I cannot get my degree when I graduate. It's so crazy. And so its goals don't yet sound all that different from any accreditor's boilerplate. Ensuring institutions provide high quality, high value programs, use student data to drive decisions, and improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the process, said Ray Rodriguez, chancellor of the Florida system, in a news release. They said the Trump administration is in the loop. Rodriguez said staffers are conferring with White House officials. Still unanswered, will campuses in the participating university systems even seek accreditation from the new commission? Says, oh, weird. This is very weird. Very, like, I'm assuming if y'all make an accredited agency, if I go to school in Georgia, I'm pretty sure my credits can transfer to different states with no problem. That's what I would hope. But then again, y'all gonna charge me out of state tuition unless I work a deal out with you all somehow. More to come on that. It's very limited information on it. They're still figuring it out, as we can see. Yeah, we know. Yeah, they can. They can. They can definitely go to different states. I just found it a little more risky. I never wanted to go to a different state and go to school because I didn't want to be charged out of state. And they can. I know. I already knew they can because of athletes. I know athletes do that a lot. They go to different states. Of course, you know when athletes transfer, go to different states, and we accept your credits. But I'm just trying to see like what are they trying to do? I don't think unless we have a problem with it somehow or right now, like a big problem I don't know about. I don't know why they're trying to change that. I know it's something with the new administration, with the Trump administration, they want to change it. I feel like it's got something related to DEI probably. Ain't no telling. Because everything in higher education, at least higher education and education has been related to DEI. So we will see. And then I believe that's much of everything. They have their own politics. Yes, they have their own politics, G. Tell me about it. They have their own politics. It's always something. If it's nothing, it's boring. If it's something, it's interesting. And then Harvard has resumed talks with the feds. You know, Harvard said, man, we want our $3 billion in federal funding. We want that back. We need that back. So really, that's really it. And then they gave us, the Chronicle of Higher Education gave me some weekend reads. They gave me some weekend reads, of course. But more of all, let's break down our college. What college are we going to break down today? That's the real question. I got, I'm not doing Kent State. Let's see if Wake Tech, let's see if Wake Technical College, let's see. We already started on it, but we can come back to that and see what they looking like on the U.S. Department of Education College Scorecard. Let's do that. But bless you. Oh, thank you. I didn't sneeze. I didn't sneeze. Thank you anyway. I didn't sneeze. I was burping. Had a little burp. Little burp. Little burp. Where is... Yeah, this... Wait, Technical Community College. Yeah. I wonder, do they have a campus? Nah, I know they have a campus, but do they have housing on here? They don't offer, usually, I know sometimes they offer dorms. Let me see. Make sure I'm not, because I don't think they offer housing. They might. So I think they do offer housing, guys. Why I say that? Because they have an athletic page. Yeah, they are part of the NJCCA. I know it's like National Junior College Athletic Association. So they have sports. So which means they have on-campus housing for sure. So, and the only reason I said that because they were like, they said if you go to Wait Tech, you're looking at an average cost of $6,000. And I was like, how? For the annual year, for the year. And I'm like, how? And then I started thinking, I'm like, maybe they have on-campus housing. But let's get busy. So their graduation rate at Wait Technical Community College, they have a graduation rate of 31%. Don't freak out, guys. The average midpoint at two-year colleges is 33%. They're below the midpoint. And this is out of a 100% scale, so that's not good. I don't know why is it so low. But maybe because students transfer before graduating, and it's a 2-year. That's what I would assume, because that's really low. And I know the school is not bad. Like, it can't be that bad, right? If it is bad. But I know Wait Tech is not bad. And so the average cost they have on here is $69,000 or $6,900 for the year. Well, we know for sure that's not true because they were 77-ish. We'll just say $77 per credit hour. I think it was 79. Let me see. Once I see that number, it'll help me. Yeah, it was like $79 per credit hour, $9.48. And so $9.48 times 2 is $18.96. Now remember, that doesn't include their, what is it called? Their tuition. That doesn't include their fees. And that's very good pricing. So I'm gonna go pull up their Wait Tech. I'm gonna pull up Wait Tech's little sheet. It's their tuition and fees sheet. And definitely give us those answers, because why not pull it up if we had pulled it up the first time? So right here, now why did Wait Tech do that? This would scare me off if I was a parent. If I didn't know what I was looking at. So they got like, I'm looking at one of their, I didn't go to this sheet last time, but I'm kind of glad I did go to this one. They have one of those financial aid cost of attendance. Like they included like housing and food, which is, their housing is very cheap. It's still like $800 some, but that is very cheap. But that's what if you're living with parents. I don't know why they put living with parents, but if you're not living with your parents, housing is 13 grand. Excuse me. Housing is 13 grand at Wait. at Wake Tech if you're not living with your parents. It's a little hilarious. If I was them, they need to talk to their marketing department because that would scare parents off fast. So where is our form at? We just had, there we go. Like I said, a community college is just like a university though, guys. And please stay off campus when you're going to Wake Tech, just like any other school. Just because it's a 2-year doesn't mean you stay on campus. Don't do that. The on-campus housing is really and truly for the athletes. Really, truly, and really, truly. Like, if you want to stay on campus, I didn't tell you to stay on campus. So, if you're taking 12 credit hours, you're looking at $912 in tuition. And then with the fees, you're looking at $1,430 for tuition and fees. And if you stay off campus, you'll be okay. And so that $1,430 will be times 2, right? $1,430 times 2 is $2,860. That's really good. Like I said, guys, for your 2 years there getting your associate's degree, which means you would pay another times 2. You'll pay like $5,700. You'll pay like $5,700 for 2 years at a community college that has great partnerships. That's a steal if you ask me. G said, I was an adult when I realized how involved parents were with college. You said college process? Yeah, with the college process, yeah. They're very involved and they would run the other way if they seen those prices. Like instantly, if they seen that, they'll say you might as well go to university. But that's only if you stay on campus. And so the U.S. Department of Education College Scorecard, because that's what we use, guys. They are a little inaccurate. They're not accurate. I don't think inaccurate, but they're not accurate because they said 6,900. I got 5,700. That's a difference. Especially if you don't stay on campus, like I said, you get your own apartment and stay with your parents. You are in the playing field for good. You are in the right place to be. And then if you're in this area, this is in North Carolina. Wake Tech is in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Wake Tech. Inaccurate is the way I would inaccurate. I said inaccurate. I know. Don't do me. I know. I be flowing. I just say my words. But Wake Tech they're in North Carolina, I believe. I'm sure, but I want to always. Yeah, North Carolina. Wake Tech is in North Carolina. Wake Tech is in North Carolina, and they have great partnerships. They say the average salary you can get after going to Wake Tech is over the 2-year college mark. You can make about $42,000 if I round it. You can make about $42,000 once you get your associate's degree or diploma or certificate. And that's the same standard after being 10 years removed and getting your financial aid. If you were a student receiving federal aid, but I like to say if you receive financial aid, you're looking at about $41,000, which is a great return on investment. If you do not stay on campus, it's a great return on investment. And then cost. We just said the cost. We want to hear about their retention rate. They have a 69% retention rate after the first year. Like I said, that makes sense. And they have it specified too. They have it like students who started there. This is based in or mixed in with like started college here and transferred in. So what I want to do who started college here. Well, that goes into a whole nother statistic. Oh, this is very interesting. 2 years have a different little statistic set up. So students who started and withdrew 30. So the students who started at Wait Tech at the 2 year, 30% of them graduate, 26% of them transfer, and then 42% withdrew, and then the transferred in, and it's telling you how many students too. That was started college year. That's out of 12,000 students. Transferred in, 35%, 33% withdrew, 32% graduated, and then they had the both mixed in. I like that. And so, like I said, 69% returned after their first year. And then I don't really need to see that part. Something else, then it's not really that I feel important. They said students' average annual debt after graduating will be about $12,000. Makes sense if you stay on campus for those years and you get a meal plan, because you got to get a meal plan if you stay on campus. You're looking at about $12,000. Don't stay on campus at a 2 year. Please don't, and don't stay on campus at a 4 year. I can't stress it enough. Students receiving federal loans is 33%. Loans is gonna be loans. I don't want to beef with the loans. And then they said, so this is interesting. It's very low. It says percentage earning more than a high school graduate. 59% of the students earn more than a high school graduate. It's pretty low, right? I feel like they be making statistics low for 2 year colleges. I feel like they be coming for us sometimes. But it's on the U.S. Department of Education College Scorecard and typical earnings. We talked about that. We're gonna go to test scores and acceptance. As I said before, 2 year colleges have an open admission policy. So Wait Tech has 100% acceptance rate. Oh, perfect score. So that means you get in when you apply. You're gonna get in, and they do accept the SAT, ACT, but if they have 100% acceptance rate, I don't think you need to take the SAT, ACT. That's what made me a little happy about starting a 2 year on accident. If I had known that, I would have been like, I don't have to take the test or this test, and I could still bridge to a 4 year. If I was hearing this from somebody, definitely going to a 2 year. Or starting at a 2 year and bridge to a 4 year. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. So how I feel about Wait Tech, you know what they get, right? You know what they get, right? They get a B. Why? Because they have an on-campus housing. And that can really mess a student up who doesn't watch this video. But their tuition is so cheap, it makes up for it. They would have been an A, but they have on-campus housing. And so, yeah, they slightly fall in the same. They're kind of like an Auburn, so they're so much cheaper that really they could have been an A, but they get a B still. And the fact that they're a community college or a 2 year and they have on-campus housing, I know community colleges have on-campus housing, so I can't really fault them for that. But in this case, I am. If they didn't have that, in a perfect world, they'd be an A. But they are B. But they're still a very good school. Like I said, they're a 2 year. You bridge to, most likely you're going to bridge to a very good 4 year. And you can't ask for nothing better than that. Low tuition. The most tuition you're going to pay. So I know you screwed. Yeah, I'm a little screwed. Because I just know the average. We all know the average student will stay on campus because they think it's the right thing to do. Then they get a little older, then they say, I don't need to stay on campus. I need to stay off campus. Then the school already got your money at that point. You might as well stay. So that's Wait Technical Community College. I still like them a lot. I still support them. Very much. I don't think we have any more stories because I know it's Friday for you guys. Yesterday was Friday Eve, and I do have to check the stock market because it's Friday and people like to sell stuff on Friday for some reason. And who wants to keep watching me all day? You know, it's almost 11 o'clock. So I'm gonna just refresh my page on X and LinkedIn. If I don't see anything, we gonna be good to go. But I don't think nobody's gonna do anything crazy on a Friday, right? Right? Right. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Why they keep reposting this? And yeah, they're just talking about failing schools. But oh, actually, this is okay. Real quick, Linda posted this yesterday. I might bring this up again. Monday. It says students deserve a choice that best meets their unique needs. Today, U.S. Department of Education provided guidance to states on how they can better use their federal dollars to expand education and turn around failing schools. So that's an interesting post. How they can better use their federal dollars. I do believe that. I do believe education does not use their federal dollars correct. I wish I really can go look at their balance sheets and see where they're allocating it actually. But they said states or schools. She said states or schools. Yeah, states. Yeah, states. So yeah, we already know how states are. They don't care about education really. At least in Georgia, they don't care about education really. And that's pretty much it, guys. I don't really see anything. I'm not gonna hold you up. That is very selfish of a person. I'm not gonna do that. So thank you for turning in. Thank you for tuning in to the live stream. I hope to see you all Monday. I have so much homework to do. For the content. And so spread the word, like and subscribe, share, post, clip the bad parts if you want to. That get people attention. Get parts you be like, like make me look like a bad person, so people come in, they'll tune into the channel and be like, oh, that's a good marketing tactic. So peace, and see you next week with chicken grease as well, as G say.